Hello, this is Mr. Stansbury. I'm going to take you through the notes on basic geometric figures. Okay, at the end of this, you should be able to say, I can identify, describe, and name points, lines, line segments, and planes using correct notation. I can also identify and name angles. All right, so here's our plan. We're going to name geometric figures. Okay, so we're going to have the geometric figure, how we name it, and some examples. So first one, point. We name a point with a capital letter. For example, point, this here would be point P. So there's the point. It's got the capital letter P, so we just name it point P. All right, line. A line is named using any 2 points on the line in any order with a line symbol drawn above. Or also you can name it using a lowercase letter depending on what the line looks like. So here's our line. Okay, so a line goes on forever and ever each direction. So you can name it AB, we can name it BA, or in this case here you can name it line M. All right. Line segment is named using the 2 endpoints in any order with a segment symbol drawn above. So starts at Y, ends at Z, or starts at Z, ends at Y. It does not go on forever and ever in either direction. So you can name that as YZ with a line over the top, or ZY with a line over the top. As you can start to tell from these here, the order on a line or a line segment does not matter. Okay, on array, you name it starting with the endpoint and use one other point with array symbol drawn above. So for example, we have ST and U here. It starts here at the S and it goes on forever and ever this direction. So on array, you actually want the first letter you want to be your endpoint or your starting point, and then we could name it SU or ST with the arrow, the array sign above it. Okay. One other one is a plane. Okay, a plane is named using any 3 points in the plane that are not on the same line, which would be collinear, okay, in any order. Or you can name it using a capital cursive letter. So for example, here's our plane, and it's got D, E, and F, so you can name it plane D, E, F, F, E, D, whichever 3, it doesn't matter what the order of the 3 letters are. And in this case here, you can also name this plane E. It's important to note that there are actually 3 of these terms are considered to be undefined terms, and that's point, line, and plane. Okay, these terms are used as a base to define other terms. Okay, they serve as building blocks of other mathematical terms. Okay, let's take a look at some examples of this. Okay, on this here example, draw each geometric figure, then give any other possible ways to name the figure. So line segment MN. So we're going to draw the line segment MN. So we're just going to draw, oops, sorry about that. Let's see, any old straight line here. Right, and let's call this, say, M. And then this is going to be N. You usually want to put little dots on there to show that that's the beginning and the end. Beginning and the end. And so we can name this line segment MN. So naming it, we would want to do MN, what's the line segment piece, or we could do NM, because remember the order does not matter. Okay, ray ST. So we do this here, and we got the starting point and then any other point on there. So if it's ray ST, we're going to want to put the S at the beginning and the T out there. Okay, so we'd name this, we would show it as a ray by doing this. Starts at S and it goes through T and keeps going on forever and ever. And you cannot name it TS. You could name line segment TS, but you cannot name this array TS because it does not start at T and go through S and keep going. Okay, point L. There's a point. We're calling it L, and really we just name it by doing an L there. That's point L. Okay. Plane PQR. So I just want to draw some kind of, usually we draw a plane using like a parallelogram. Okay, and then we just put 3 points on there. Doesn't matter where, as long as they're not in the same line, as long as they're not collinear. P, Q, and R. Okay, so we could name that, we just name that plane PQR. Plane, oops, not plan, plane PQR. We could name it plane RQP. We could name it QPR, so forth and so on. There's several more that we could do. Okay, and this over here should be point L. Sorry about that. Okay, so many different ways you can name that. And if it happened to have a cursive letter in there on the plane, then we could call it that as well. Okay, and then we've got line DE, not line segment, but line DE. So draw a line that has no beginning and no end. And we can put, say, a D there and an E there. And we would name that, show that it's a line by doing the DE and the line over the top. Or, again, since it doesn't matter which one you start with, we could also name this ED as well. Okay. All right, one last thing to look at here is naming an angle. We can name an angle by using the angle symbol and a number. So in this case here, we've got this angle right here, and this is saying that it's angle 3. So we would do that as angle 3. Okay, that's this one. Okay. You can also use the angle symbol and the vertex of the angle. So vertex of the angle right here is U, so we could also call it angle U. Okay. Another way to do it is you can use the angle symbol. I know this is a lot here, but it'll make sense once we get through this. You can use the angle symbol and 3 points on the angle. The first point is on one side of the angle. The second point has to be the vertex, and then the third point is on the other side of the angle. So for example, on this here, we could name this angle, say SUV. We could name it SUV. First point, the first letter is a point on one of the sides. The second letter, this always has to be, that U there always has to be the vertex. Okay, and then V is on the other side. We could also name this angle VUS. That does not look like a V compared to the other one. There. VUS, or we could name it angle TUV or angle VUT. Any one of those would work for this. Okay, so angle 3, angle U, or any of those 4 would work for naming that angle. Okay? All right, that's all there is for the notes on basic geometric figures. If you have any further questions, please feel free to ask in class. Thanks.